Hey, welcome to the new meta episode 111.
111.
111.
111 in chat.
That is a
111.
lot.
Yeah, man.
That is a lot of ones, man. You're going to hit 4 ones? 111?
Gosh. I mean,
How old will we be in 1,111 episodes?
fuck.
3, 5, 6 years from now? Something like that, maybe? No, it'd be more. 10 years would be 500.
Whatever happens, in episode 1111, I think Diablo 4 will almost be out.
It will probably be the week.
What? Hello? P? What'd I say?
I don't know what just happened.
Why is your camera gone?
Listen, we lost everything.
I know. We said a lot of things we didn't mean, but come back to me.
I'm coming back. There we go.
Well, hi.
Yeah.
Would you stop clicking buttons over there? What are you doing?
Listen, I didn't hit anything.
Shit.
So, yeah. About that. 1111 Diablo 4 will just have released.
Yeah. Mom's gone. Let's just
man,
move
did you
on
get
now.
the storms? We had some crazy storms last night in St. Louis. Like, it ripped cell phone towers down and stuff on my house. My cell phone hasn't been working all day. Power was out last night for a while. Internet was down.
Are you sure it was weather related in St. Louis? Maybe it was like rioting
I don't know. It could have been. Yeah.
Because
We had some crazy storms.
Listen,
man. It was nutty.
Some insight for today. We'll prelude to Fluff hates St. Louis again, and we'll talk about that. But
okay, all right. Let's get into some polls, man.
Yeah,
we had the poll from last week. Let's talk about it.
So last week we asked if Diablo 4 is pay to win in any regard, will you still try it? Will you still try it? We'll spam that in chat so you guys can vote last second.
People lie. They're going to say nope, but I know that's not true.
Yeah, because it's not saying will you play it? Will you be a hardcore fan for years and years? This is saying will you try it?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes, but people are going to vote no, but I don't believe it. I don't believe that they would actually. That's like people saying, I'm going to never play again if they put a cash shop in. Yes, you will. Right. Don't lie to me.
It's also in any regard, right? So you could consider stash tabs like pay to win. So
yeah. I don't think that's pay to win personally, but
well, you're made of money, P, and you buy games all the time.
Apparently,
you buy games all the time, but you won't spend like $2 on a VPN to play Lost Ark.
I've been playing Lost Ark. I have an assassin set up.
Did they finally give you that?
I don't buy games all the time. I can't even remember the last game I bought. Everything.
Okay.
It's probably Wolcen. Wolcen was the last. No, I didn't. I mean, my community bought that. They hooked me up.
I bought it because Riker told me to.
Yeah. And then it was so hard. Damn you, Riker.
Yep. Still never forgive him.
Oh, man.
But yeah. So this follows up a conversation we had last week about, Lost Ark is pretty pay to win. But, it doesn't really get you anywhere. It just gets you like progression faster, which I still don't know in Lost Ark that really matters at all. Because you don't carry any of that in the PvP, so it's like at the end of the day, you're just kind of like ruining your own content by going through it faster, I guess. So yeah, again, like if Lost Ark comes out tomorrow, NA, and it's the same cash shop, like I'm still gonna play it.
Yeah, me too. It's still fun as hell.
Which sucks though, because if a game's pay to win, then it loses like a lot of players that probably would have stuck around had it been like a good monetization scheme. So, yeah, I don't know. So the question is, though, at its most basic level, if Diablo 4 is pay to win, will you still try it? Of course, I would still try it. I don't care if it's like VR or meant for your microwave. I'm probably going to try it if it's got Diablo in the name.
Diablo 4 on LG microwaves,
Voting. What the hell? These are all... 52% of the vote says yep. 48% of the vote says nope. Not even try it, team? I find that really hard to believe.
I honestly thought nope would win, because I think a lot of people say that, like, I'm never going to play your game again. And then they never stop playing.
Yeah.
They get pissed off, but they never stop playing. So
It's crazy.
it's interesting. Interesting.
And then for next week, which we're about to talk about, does double bounties reinvigorate your drive to continue playing this season? Hell yes.
Oh, baby.
Or nah. Right? Which drives us right into the next subject. So if you guys have been living under a rock, yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday, they announced they're bringing back the double bounties for the rest of the season.
Didn't see this coming.
I really didn't. I mean, I guess we could have, because last season
I honestly thought double goblins would have been.
What did they do last season? What did they give us?
I think it was double goblins.
Was it double goblins
last season too? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. They're trying stuff. I think double bounties is a thing. People like it. I don't know if it makes you come back though.
Yeah. There's no sense in urgency about it either. It's like, oh, you have this for the rest of the season. Instead of like,
I don't think they should have announced
weekend.
the whole season either. I think they should have done it for the weekend and then been like on Monday, yeah, you know what, we're gonna extend it.
You know what would be even better? Is like a mini season. Like, hey everyone, we're gonna start up a brand new season today. Like just a mini season, and we're gonna have double bounties plus the seasonal theme, or maybe not the seasonal theme because people didn't like it. Like, enjoy. Like, then I'd be like, oh shit, let's go.
But how are you gonna pull that off?
What do you mean?
You gotta make a new character?
Yeah.
A whole new season?
Yeah.
Yeah, but how are you you're still gonna have a season, so you're gonna have to make a new seasonal character, or like they're gonna have to make a whole new category in game.
Well, just be like if you were SSF versus like not SSF on League and PoE, so it'd just be like a different server that you can roll over.
They'd have to add a new thing, but that would be super dope if they could have.
Yeah, they'd have to spin up a new Commodore 64 Diablo 3 server.
A lot of people probably don't even know what that is. Well,
yeah, dust off that cartridge. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it would be. It would be cool if they could do some kind of seasons in a season, a weekend event, a week-long event. How long would you do it?
I mean, a week season would be dope. 2 weeks, I think, would be like max.
Yeah, I would think a week.
Because 2 weeks that marked, it's like, okay, bots are starting to like really get that crazy advantage of just 24-hour uptime, but you can still win, because you're better. So
yeah,
I would love a 2-week season. That would be so dope.
I almost think a weekend season would be crazy. A weekend
season would be dope too, for sure.
Yeah, that would almost make me do 24-hour streams again.
Yes.
And I because like I can't think of anything that would motivate me to do 24 hours besides Diablo 4 launch, right? And so if they did a weekend season, I might be like, okay, if it starts at 7:00 on a Friday night, I'd sleep until 6:00 on Friday, and I'd 24, maybe 30. I'd go until I couldn't take it anymore and go to sleep.
Yeah, and you'd have to it'd be like a gamble, because it's like, say it's only 48 hours. It's like, how much of that 48 hours do I spend like trying to get XP meta going, and like how much am I grinding keys, and how much do I save at the end to try to get a crazy push? That'd be dope. I would love the thing that China did where, they had like, what if you had like streamers face off against each other, like in like teams of 2, teams of 4, whatever, right? And it's just like, okay, you got 24 hours. Who's got the highest clear at the end of that 24 hours?
That'd be fun.
The shit.
That'd be really fun. So
get it done, please.
Yeah, I don't know how much it would take for them to make a season like, but they could even spin up servers. Like, how they have PTR? Like they can spin up a PTR server.
Maybe.
Like, what if you just spun up a server?
Or if you just spun up PTR for 2 weeks, just take it down before PTR hits, like that. Yeah, it's not being used.
Name it something else. I don't care what you call it, but just spin up a new server and be like, yo, this is a tournament realm or whatever. Call it a tournament realm. Spin it up, let us play it for the weekend, take it back off. That'd be fun. It'd be a good time.
Yeah.
So do it.
But yeah, what are your thoughts overall? Do you double bounties the rest of the season?
I don't really like doing bounties, so it's pretty cool to me personally, because that means I have to do less bounties if I want the things. I don't think it's gonna bring people back. I think if you have already quit the season, you probably don't even realize it's even in a thing. Like, did they tweet it out? Like,
Yeah.
I saw it because my community told me, but Twitter didn't send, like, put the tweet on my feed, which is pretty uncommon for them not to show me Blizzard
Right.
stuff. But yeah, I don't know, man. That doesn't entice me to come back.
That's a good point too,
Personally.
that we kind of touched on last week, is like, every 3 months in PvE, to like check like what's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like you do a little mini seasonal theme where it's like bounty mats, well, people are not really expecting to see any changes come to the game like mid-season, so they're like probably go unnoticed.
Yeah, definitely got to spread the word. Because like it didn't jump out at me. Like normally when things happen, it's like I'm seeing everybody post it, and for some reason, man, my Twitter just didn't grab it. It didn't shove it down my throat like it normally does. And that could have happened to other people too. But no, I mean, I think if you've quit the season, I don't think this is enticing enough to come back. I don't think you're like, oh shit, double bounty mats, hell yeah. Because part of that is because who likes? I mean, I'm sure there's the crazies out there that like doing bounties.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
I personally don't like doing bounties. So for me, if I had already quit and like double bounty mats, I'm like, well, I don't even like doing bounties anyways. So I'm not going to come back for that. Even though the re-rolls are enticing, it's not worth it.
You know what I immediately thought of when I saw this? It's like, oh, sweet. Like now maybe I can catch back up, because I burned like all my non-season bounty mats. I had like 3K and I like burned them all. I was like, oh, sweet. Now I can build them up for PTR again. But then I was like, oh, wait, no, we have that vendor now, and he does that.
Yeah,
so I don't have to worry about that at all anymore. So I was like, oh.
Right. Which is good, which is great, actually.
So like immediately I was like, oh, cool. I guess I'll get on and grind some bounties so I can have some for PTR. And I was like, oh, wait, I don't have to do that. So I guess I'm not getting on. I do think of all the double anything that, obviously bounties is probably the best.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's enticing enough to bring you back. But if you're still playing the game, it might be enticing enough to keep you in the game longer. It might keep you for an extra week or two. But you run out of Forgotten Souls. I mean, people don't realize that if you get a super crazy stack of bounty mats, you will eventually burn through your Forgotten Souls at a rate that you can't keep them up as well. So, it does make it easier to reroll, but you're still limited.
Yeah.
You'll still find yourself out of a material. So it's just pick your poison. Which one is it? So,
yeah.
But it is more fun to get Forgotten Souls than at anything. I mean, Forgotten Souls, you get doing everything. So just keep playing the game and you'll get your stacks back up. So
true.
yeah, man, it's a thing. I mean, it makes me, is this, it seems to me like this is a direct result from feedback
about the seasonal theme not being
so
great.
I honestly think that this is a good thing. I think people complained about the seasonal theme enough that they're like, shit, man, all right, let's try to do something. Let's try to make the community happy. And I think a lot of people suggested double goblins, double bounty mats, and turn the seasonal theme off. And so I think this is kind of a step in that direction. So I think they're listening to feedback. So to me, even though this may not be like, oh, I'm going to start playing Diablo, 24/7 now, it is like, well, hey, man, they're trying to do something. They're trying to listen. And especially the second part of this. So the second part of this article says, we plan on extending PTR testing timelines prior to each new season going forward. This results in a slightly extended season and will allow for 2 weeks of PTR testing for the community, along with an additional week for the team to implement and work on feedback/changes. So like that's huge to me. That means that like, okay, we missed the mark on the PTR. We kind of missed I think that they gave us the sets, and then the sets were not exactly what we wanted. They did a really good job of trying to fix the Demon Hunter set. The Necro set was workable, so they kind of left it. And then they didn't have time to touch the seasonal theme very much, And I think this is like direct result of that. They're like, okay, we're going to give more PTR testing time, more implementation time, more changes time, and hopefully we'll get better stuff. There aren't any new sets though going forward. So the PTR testing is going to be balance changes, I suppose, and then hopefully seasonal themes.
I mean, I think that's the best case scenario is if we get like a big balance patch, because season 12 I still think was maybe top 2 seasons of all time. So
yeah, I would say didn't we get a huge balance in 13 too? Or was it just 12?
Just 12.
For some, I don't know why 13. Oh, 13
was the beginning of the end, I think.
13 was the last balance patch we got that we kept forever. But the reason 13 was so cool, because 13 is like my favorite season of all time, and I couldn't remember why. And the reason why is because that's when they implemented the encrypted memory change,
The
and there were no
obfuscation.
bots. Yeah, there were no bots for the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season,
Yeah,
and
true.
I thought that was
That was
phenomenal.
dope. Yeah.
That was super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So,
True.
yeah, I hope that the PTR is a big balance. Changes are just as good as new sets. Like there's enough sets in the game that if you rework a new set every season for 1 or 2 classes, like you have enough content to keep people coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not for months and months.
Yeah.
I think I used the analogy on stream the other night. We were playing and people were talking about how they're already losing interest in the season. And I'm like, that's okay. I think that's fine, because it's like if you ate, like everybody loves cake. If you had cake every single night for dinner for 6 years, are you still going to be excited when somebody offers you a delicious cake? You're going to be like, okay, that's cool. Thanks. I have cake. And so every season's like putting a new icing on the cake. Like, okay, we switch from vanilla to chocolate. It's really good for the first couple days because we've had vanilla for 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. But now we got chocolate. But after a couple weeks, you're going to be like, okay, I'm tired of chocolate cake too. So there's no fix for it unless we get a new end game.
Sure.
And that's not likely going to happen. But if we can keep refreshing it every season for at least a couple weeks, I think that's the ideal scenario. If we can get 3 weeks to 4 weeks out of the new season because of seasonal theme and balance changes, then I think the team's doing a good job if they can pull that off.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if people are playing 2 weeks in a game that they paid, full price for like 10 years ago, you're doing a good thing. I don't like to say that out loud because like it just makes me sad. We all say like, oh, we have like I would give Blizzard more money to add more content to D3. Like I would. I
would too. I would pre-order an expansion today if they had a GoFundMe or anything. I'd be like, yo, let's do it.
Can you imagine Activision Blizzard doing a GoFundMe?
Yeah, like the thing is if they did it, it would be a way to be like, okay, is there actual interest in this? Like, like if we funded this, would it produce us a profit? And like a way to show that would be like, yo, like we'll take pre-orders, a pre-order guarantees that they have to put something out. So I don't think they could do that, but they could never do a GoFundMe either. But dude, it would be super cool if they did though. And I would do it. They were like, yeah, man.
Here's the money.
Like, yeah,
totally.
I'll buy some copies.
So. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with that sentiment. That is big news. The second part, I actually didn't even see that because I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Double bounties.
Double bounties, yeah. So we'll get PTR. I hope that, I want to see some of the sets revisited. Like, I hope they touch the Hydra set's so new. I think that's an easy win for next season. Like, they got to hit that up. And
well, it's interesting you say that because the next season is the season where all the new sets become the starter set.
Mm-hmm.
So
if they continue that rotation,
well, they already said.
Oh,
way back when all the sets are added to the game, then they'll become the starter set for that season.
Oh, wow. That's going to be interesting because you got some good choices in there.
So if they take, I would hope that maybe like those sets would be performing as they wanted them to when they do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the very least will probably
needs
get that.
to be touched.
Yeah,
for sure.
And a lot of half of them. I'd say half of them need to be touched. For sure.
Yeah. What all the new sets, what are you touching first? Like what's your order top 3? Like what are you hitting?
Am I going by what I like? Obviously Necros rank 1.
Go by what you think's the
worst.
Needs it the worst.
Yeah. Okay, Mundunugu's God tier. God DH is God tier.
Yeah.
Necros got trash. Barb's pretty trash. Wizard's pretty trash. Monk's doing okay.
Monk, I like Monk. Yeah, I actually like. I have some good changes.
I'll be selfish. But... No, give it Necros.
Necros. Okay.
And then I think probably Wiz, because
Necro and Wiz. Yeah, those are mine. Those are mine too. I think it's Wizard first, then Necro second. But I'm with you. I've actually had people tell me they like the new Necro set, which I haven't had anybody tell me they like the new Wizard set. So
the Necros new set is tanky, and it's a very nice change of pace. It's very consistent. So it is a good starter. It would be a great starter set, and it's a great starter build because it's so much more tanky than everything else. But if you look at all the other sets and you examine their 4-piece and make them more tanky, then this set would be pretty bad. So
The problem with the monk set's actually a lot of fun. I've been playing it in hardcore. The problem I have with the monk set is the Tempest Rush rune that you use to do all your damage basically gains stacks as you channel Tempest Rush. And so there's two big flaws with this. The first flaw is that there's some kind of bug in the game where if you do really sharp 180-degree churns, it drops your stacks. Okay, so that's the first problem. The second problem is anytime you stop channeling, you also drop your stacks. So you can't click pylons, you can't open doors, or if you get teleported or wormholed by a mob, you lose your stacks. And so that's a big get screwed moment if you get maps with doors, especially, or things like that. So my change is to put a delay on the Tempest Rush buff to where it lasts for a second. And that way, when you stop channeling a second later, it pops. Or when you cast another ability, they're like, certain things could trigger it. You could have a trigger that would make it explode. But just giving it a second delay would at least allow you to click a pylon or allow you to open a door or to potentially get teleported and not drop all your stacks. You know what I mean? And then maybe fix the 180 bug too in that, so because a second you get a 4-second window in the cold cycle on COE. So you still have a grace period to let go and let it explode. So I don't know, man. But other than that one thing, I think the monk set's pretty fun. It's a good time. So
yeah, what all you just said, just focus that time on necro. Like all the necro sets are pretty gross. So get to work.
I stopped being selfish, man.
It's the best class in the game. If necro was,
it would be interesting to
to
see player class numbers. Like I would love to see popularity numbers for classes historically and versus because right now it's Demon Hunter. Like there's no question. Like everybody and their mom's Demon Hunter. Last season everybody was a Witch Doctor, was a Mundanugo. The season before that I think it was Crusader. So I know there's obviously a flavor of the patch, but I'm just curious,
if they didn't do that wouldn't be really fair either.
Because whatever is going to be strong is going to get the most play.
I think that the biggest, so say the next season is like this big balanced patch. Every set gets touched.
Okay.
And we didn't get a PTR. We're just going off of we didn't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. And then boom, the season starts. That would be, I think, the most natural indication of class popularity.
What are you going to play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is we'll get that 2-week PTR and then Crusader's the strongest now because the set changes.
Everybody plays Crusader.
Right.
Yeah. I honestly feel like Demon Hunter still could be top. People we've had patches and seasons where things are powerful, but man, the amount of Demon Hunter love. Oh, that's my class. That's my class. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get so much of that.
Yeah.
And it just seems like everybody's playing it. So
from the John Yang days, man. He created a lot of DH fanboys, tell you.
That recurve, man. I don't know, man. That's really all the Diablo news we have.
Still kind of crickets.
We didn't hear anything about Immortal. Oh, we did listen to the investor call goes into it a little bit. Do you want to hit the Tencent thing first? Or do you want to?
Yeah, let's talk about the investor call first. It's fine.
Okay.
So
I didn't listen to the whole thing. Did you actually listen to it?
Yep.
I skimmed the notes. I skimmed the transcript.
Listen, it's one of my favorite things in the world to do a counter of investor and corporate keywords. So, they use the word momentum 300 times. They always say
is that legit or are you making that
up?
No,
that's seriously legit. They always say things hey, can you explain? They never say that. It's can you shed some color on? It's why that of all the phrases? It's very interesting to listen to because it blows my mind in every Activision investor call. They say so much without saying anything.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. Hey, John, I'll take this one.
Right. And then it's hey, before I get started, I want to take the time to, thank the team. They've been doing a good job through Corona and blah, blah, blah. And it's just kill time for 10 minutes and then spend 30 seconds on the actual answer or the question. But it's a vague
there's
answer.
A direct question about Diablo in there. And then he has this huge rant
speech.
And then the last sentence, he's Diablo's doing good too.
Yeah.
It's What? Like,
Yeah.
don't. It'd be funny if finally, like, if they could have like an open mic where the person could be like, "You didn't answer my question. Can you directly comment on why blah blah blah?" You
Yeah.
know. So,
The things that I thought were interesting were, so one of the questions that was asked is like, can Diablo Immortal basically learn anything from COD Mobile, because COD Mobile's been doing very
mhm.
well.
Yeah, and this is the one where they just
Yeah,
bullshitted.
and he just kind of answered forever. And to me, the impression I got is like those teams don't talk at all.
Yeah, yeah,
And so it was like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm sure there's things they could learn from it, but like, we're not gonna like
And and
talk
and
secrets or
so
anything.
like here's an example. Like they said they had a line in this, and it says, "And finally, the Diablo franchise enters into mobile. The Diablo, the Diablo Immortal looks great, with Blizzard planning to expand internal testing in the company in the coming weeks."
Yay!
Like that's all. That's all they said. And then
Yeah,
they said, "Now turning to King
I
Candy."
know,
Like
right?
that's it. Like that was the whole thing
Yeah,
on
all
an
of this
investor call was
text,
one sentence.
all of this text is from a question that was like
A- And I'm
right
just
here.
like, what the fuck though?
Yeah.
Like you didn't even.
Nope.
It says, and finally the Diablo franchises enter into mobile, and it's like, oh cool, like finally here's the thing they're going to talk about it,
Nope.
and then it's like, nope, next King Candy. So Candy Crush is doing great, $270 million profit. You know, like Candy
Mm-hmm.
Crush makes them more money than anything. Like honestly, it's insane. So. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
like so. I did keyword searches on this
All you do is search
investor call
Diablo,
because
right?
I just searched Diablo and
The other
and
thing
it's
that I
like
thought was interesting, based on the last one, they mentioned like, I think 2 or 3 times they mentioned like that they were working on several remasters, and that wasn't even brought up this time,
mhm,
which I
yeah.
thought was
Well, you
interesting.
know, and they always like let's just go back to 2018. They said the forges are burning hot. The Diablo team's doing multiple projects or whatever they
Yeah.
said. You know, like Brandy's thing. Where's the Netflix show that was
Mm.
even confirmed by like the producer or the director or something? That's gone. And we even low key had people in at BlizzCon in 2018 even admit that it was a thing. Like they're like, yeah, they're working on the Netflix show. Like
True.
conversations we had like confirmed it, like that
Mm-hmm.
from other people. And so that's disappeared. What were the other projects? Was D4 and the mobile game? Was that it? Was it Netflix, mobile, and
And
you know,
potentially this Diablo 2 thing still, but there's
yeah, the
no basis,
remaster,
right?
which is yeah, keeps getting talked about forever and never
Mm-hmm.
happening. So
It's interesting.
yeah, man, they don't talk about anything. And like Overwatch 2, I mean, I haven't been keeping up with Overwatch 2. I haven't actively sought Overwatch 2 information, but I don't hear anything about any of this stuff. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? All I hear is stuff about WoW. And maybe that's my own fault because I'm into WoW. And so maybe that's like, you know, the algorithms for social medias are getting smart. They know the things that I click on. So maybe they're like, oh, let's feed him WoW stuff. And they didn't even feed me the Diablo updates from Blizzard. So that maybe they're like, you know, I don't know. They're thinking that I'm into other things, but it's it sucks, man. Like I want Diablo juice so bad that I am like I want Diablo Immortal to release. That's how bad it is. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, I need Diablo Immortal. Like, when's that coming out? Where's the
Yeah.
juice? You know,
Yeah.
when are we getting some beta? Am I gonna get in beta? Please let me get in beta. You know, like that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So
There wasn't any kind of cringe moments, which was nice, because in the past calls they've
yeah.
had times where it was like, although the it wasn't well received at BlizzCon or something like that, we feels like that pales in comparison to like the people that have tried the game and they love it, and the hardcore Diablo audience like just
Yeah,
can't
there
wait
was
for this game to
actually
come out.
something I thought that was good. So Jay Allen Brack, who is
Yeah.
Blizzard's president, if you don't know, he actually said something about PC. Like he derailed the conversation to reiterate we're working on a PC game, and I think that was probably to me that came off as a direct like, oh, I want to make sure people know that we still did love PC games because he was asked about mobile. I'm trying to skim real quick and see if I can find that quote again.
Mm.
Um, yeah, man. Committed to awesome experiences. Nah, man, I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find it later. But he definitely commented on, hey, we're still making PC games. Um, but I don't know. I lost that quote. I should have copy pasted it. Oh,
Right.
here it is. So Jay Allen says, this is a direct response to somebody asking him about Diablo Immortal. The question was, could you give us an update on your expectations for the Diablo Immortal regional testing plan? And he says, and this is his quote, he says, you asked about Diablo Immortal, but I do want to take the opportunity to also mention Diablo 4, which we are building for PC and console in the coming, and is also coming along looking really good. And then he goes on to talk about Diablo 4. But I think it's interesting that he immediately just said, I know you asked about Immortal, but we want to talk about Diablo 4, which we're building for PC. You know what I mean? It just makes me feel like that was a direct, like, hey.
Yeah, but I guess that was one of the cringe parts, because he went on to say, like, we see the hardcore Diablo player base respond with excitement about the direction of the game. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, he said that in a different response. You're right. He did say that. He said we need to interact with hardcore race. Yep. So I do. My reaction has been mixed, though. People did give positive feedback to the angelic demonic thing, which made me go like, what?
Inspired.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with it, but a lot of people I think did. So I don't know.
I don't know either. But I guess when you think of, when Blizzard thinks of their hardcore Diablo community, I guess, what do they think of? I wonder. Like, who are they talking to that they think is the hardcore players? Yeah. Or where are they deriving that from? Like, where do they think their most hardcore players are?
People that still play Diablo 2.
Maybe.
I mean,
Diablo 4 is being driven by Mr. Llama. We're all doomed.
Yeah.
I love you,
man.
Goddamn.
I don't know. I don't know what's hardcore to them is probably drastically different than us.
Yeah. True.
So would you consider yourself a hardcore Diablo player?
I mean, it points absolutely. Yeah.
At point. Sure. What about now?
Now, I mean, no, I'm a filthy casual by their standards. Or by what I would say that as little as I played this season, which was like a week and a half before I went on vacation, maybe a little bit more, like just under 2 weeks. My playtime, my uptime was probably on average way higher than your average player for a whole season.
Yeah.
Just in those week and a half or 2 weeks, probably. I'd place money on that. So, but yeah. Anyways, there is this kind of freaky thing that happened.
Okay.
And that's a little political, I guess. Not really. But Trump signed an executive order that prohibits transactions with TikTok and WeChat, parent companies of ByteDance and Tencent, effective in 45 days. And so there's a lot of scare going around that this would affect.
I saw this. David Brevik actually commented on this. This is where I saw it. And so if you guys don't know, David Brevik is like one of the OG Godfather original creators of Diablo, Diablo 2. And he's been in the gaming industry longer than most of us have been alive. So he's got his ear on the, I don't know the analogy, I forgot it, but
finger on the pulse.
He knows what's going on. And so when he tweeted it out, I'm like, oh shit. And so I started researching it a little bit, and it's like, if we can no longer have transactions with WeChat and TikTok, like Tencent owns fucking everything, dude.
Yeah.
Like they own part of Activision. They own part of, I mean, the list is insane.
Yeah.
Do we have, it's Riot Games, Epic Games, which is League of Legends, Valorant, Fortnite. I mean, it goes down, man. There was Activision stuff in there, which would have been, I don't know if it directly, I think it was like some of the Call of Duty franchises, and like it was insane, man. So,
but yeah, it could still spell it. So I looked into it a little bit too, afterwards, because I was like, oh my God, like, what does this mean? Like they made a follow-up and said, a White House official tells LA Times that the EO will only affect WeChat and not Tencent gaming properties. But I went into it a little bit, and there's a lot of verbiage that's like kind of vague, and I feel like they set it up in such a way that they could kind of change their mind on a whim, and they're covered. But I didn't like it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know. I don't really keep up with things like this. They don't usually interest me at
Yeah.
all. I don't personally have TikTok. My wife and my kids have it, and they're on
Same.
that shit 24/7. So like, I know what it is, and I'm pretty familiar with it. But I personally don't have it on my phone. I don't care. Like, listen, if China's stealing your profile, like you signed up for it, everybody knows at this point. Do I care if they have what are they stealing? My contacts and my email and maybe some cookies on what websites I visit? If that, I don't know. I don't understand the reason for the ban in the first place. Do you? Like,
Yeah, I
why
mean,
are the panties in a bunch?
it's probably that they were exposed, and then it's in kind of maybe like maybe Trump's personal interest financially to do it, or the U.S.'s economy's interest to do it, and we're kind of shrouding it in this excuse. Is kind of what it feels like to me. But everything, like literally everything in this day and age, like records your shit. So
It's like, yeah, it's like here's an example. Like I talk about this all the time. So I have a buddy he's got his daughter just turned 2 years old, and we don't hang around in real life as often as we used to, right? But he invites me to his party. I haven't seen him in 6 7 months because of Corona stuff and
mhm.
this and that. I'm like, yeah, man, I'll come up and hang out for the party. So I go up to the party. And just jokingly, he's like he got a new house. He's giving me a tour of his new house. And we walk into one of the rooms and I go, Alexa, turn the lights on or whatever. And Alexa, cancel. So, oh man, what's it doing? So I went in there and I said that. And then just jokingly, and he goes, he's like, oh man, I don't have any of that in my house because it listens to all your conversations.
Yeah.
And this guy works in tech and he's super smart. It's like one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. He's a developer of some. I know he used to do Cold Fusion. I don't know what he does now. It's not Cold Fusion anymore, but he's like, software developer, really smart dude. And I'm like, of all people, you're telling me that you won't have it in your house. And he's like, yeah, man, they spy on your conversations. I'm like, what do you think your cell phone does, dude? And he's like, and I'm like, my wife and I have tested this. Like, you'll start getting, like, we started talking about, we don't have a dog. We started talking about dog food just to see if it would do it. And it did. I started getting dog food advertisements on Facebook and shit. And I was like, my phone was locked and I started getting advertisements after talking about it. And then, so we had that whole conversation. And then, so like the next day, he was asking me about my diet because last time he saw me, I was 50 pounds heavier. Right. So he's like, damn, you're losing weight. Tell me what you're doing. So I start telling him about how I've been doing keto or whatever. And so he texts me, he says, thanks, asshole. Now I'm getting keto advertisements on all my stuff. and I'm like, exactly my point, man. Like, you did not have your phone the whole time. Like, and you're worried about having an Alexa or Google. I'm like, you're recorded regardless of what you want, man.
True.
Like, it's there, dude. It's too late. You fight with your wife, the government, somebody knows.
Relationship
somebody's listening.
therapy.
Right.
Low
You're like,
price.
damn.
Groupon.
Yeah.
Relationship therapy Groupon. Yeah.
Marriage counseling discount. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting though,
It
man.
is.
Like, it's funny because, like I said, we had those conversations and nobody had their phones out, and now he's getting advertisements for it when it's not something that he himself has brought up or talked about.
We live in strange times, that's for sure.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I don't understand the thing, but like I said, I think eventually, if Tencent owns all these gaming companies, it's going to be a thing, especially if they're a foreign based entity that has all this control.
Yep.
It's not going to be good.
Speaking of being mind controlled, I tried Wolcen again because Riker told me to buy it.
Yeah. Thanks, Riker.
So
if you guys don't know, hold on. Just in case people think we're being toxic, there's a legit joke because Riker got blasted on Twitter by some fan of his that was like, Riker, you said this game was good and I spent my money on it and the bosses are too hard, and like totally raged at Riker saying that he was a shill and a sellout. And so I personally defended him on Twitter and went at I told the guy he was, not too bright. But it's so now we joke. Yeah, I probably was meaner than that. But so we make fun of it now and just say Riker told us to. So,
yeah. Okay. But yeah, so we talked about last week. They had this big big patch. I mean, for Wolcen standards, it was massive, the biggest we've ever seen by like at least tenfold, because they just do little baby patches once a week. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, let's go in and test it. I want to do my due diligence. It is an isometric RPG, and I'm all about that life. So I go in with my character. He's pretty god tier. Pretty much best stuff. I mean, I could probably min-max and get a little bit more, but he's quite good. And so, you know, we jumped in and we did all the triggers that would like cause us to crash or fall through the world, like pulling a bunch of density, stacking density on top of our boss. And it was better. I didn't fall through the world, but I did still lag a lot when I pulled up giant packs of density. And I still did. I would like lag out and then I'd be dead, which was one of the problems before. Is like you're just like somehow
You know what's
You
know what's crazy is in Lost Ark. If you pull crazy density like that, you automatically assume the game's gonna break.
Yeah,
and it fucking doesn't. It doesn't even stutter.
It's
All right,
insane.
keep going.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. It's crazy that we play a game on 200 ping. It's on the server's on the other side of the planet. And it is smoother than Path of Exile or Diablo 3 could ever dream of, which is
any RPG I've ever played could ever dream. It doesn't make sense.
It's wild.
I saw this density. So to derail slightly, I saw density like that in one of the story missions. You're like defending this castle or taking a castle, and like they have these hordes of mobs, right? And I'm thinking like, oh, that looks really cool. But when we start to fight, there's only going to be a couple. Nope. Like you fight fucking thousands of them, and it's and you're like, the game's gonna break. There's no way this is gonna work, and it's like buttery smooth. I mean, it doesn't even stutter. And I was just like, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
that was crazy. It was cool. It was really cool. So
yeah.
All right.
If I was working on D4, I would snipe the Lost Ark netcode guys for sure.
Yeah, I would be like, listen,
what did you do
to America?
Yeah,
we'll pay you. We'll put you up in a house. We'll furnish it. Come on.
Right. But yeah, so we played it. It was still really laggy. It was definitely an improvement. I didn't fall through the world, which I think is, probably the worst game breaking bug from vanilla Wolcen. And it felt good playing that build again. It is super strong. It was nice to be able to jump into 187s and be like, yep, okay, this is still like a really good build. But like, you could gain levels now, and so like I gained a level while I was playing, and so I was like, maybe I should take myself to max level 90 because I was like 81 or something. Because now it's like so much more possible. It's like, but I didn't. I just didn't have that desire to continue playing, even though it was better. It's just like it wasn't good enough to make me want to like continue or like re-roll a character and try something else. I just didn't have that. If they did a new season, I would probably try it out.
I didn't have that desire to keep really playing it after I beat the campaign either. I definitely had desire to beat the campaign. I think the game did a pretty good job of keeping me into it during the campaign. And I think specifically the boss fights. I think that they did a really good job on their boss fight, aside from the bugs. Like I know there was crazy bugs on the boss fights, myself included. I experienced a lot of them. Ground disappearing, like things on the ground not showing up, and I'm just dead for no reason. But that being said, the boss fights were phenomenal, I felt like, and that's what kept me playing. But after that, I just didn't have a lot of desire. I was like, I already can tell this isn't of a standard that's high enough to make me want to grind it. Like, why am I putting
I didn't really feel
it?
that way. I had that desire to play afterwards, and it wasn't just from a like sheer let's figure out this end game like a mega lull. I do think that there's more to the end game in Wolcen than there probably is in Diablo 3. If Wolcen had leaderboards, it would automatically be a more complicated game probably than Diablo 3.
Yeah.
But I played hard. I played hard for 2 weeks, and I would say that I enjoyed like 90% of it. It's just like once I got to that, once you get higher and higher, it starts lagging more and more, and then it gets to the point where your character falls to the world, and it's like, oh my god, like holy crap. Like I could even handle half of the passive tree not working. But yeah.
Yeah, the problem is you just don't know which one.
Yeah,
so like you make a build and then you start playing it and then you're like, is it working? I don't know. It feels like it's not, but
right.
Maybe I just made bad choices. I don't know. Maybe my math's wrong.
Yeah, and it's the same thing now. It's like, well, they say everything's fixed. I don't really have the patience to like, I'm gonna go test everything now. No, like I don't want to do that.
Well, that's the big problem is you double check like, okay, this talent says it's going to do this. Am I going to sit here and do the math and actually figure out if it's working?
Right, because I don't trust the game. Right, the core game mechanics I don't trust.
That's like if it tells me you're going to give me 10% crit, I want 10% crit. I don't want to have to like figure out if you actually gave it to me or not.
Yeah.
So,
but we've had so many of those moments in Diablo. To be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Diablo's got its problems too, like more than any game I've ever played, you know, but I don't know. I'm not sure what it is about Wolcen that, you know, and I kind of feel the same about PoE, and like that's where we differ so much is because PoE, whatever magical it factor that Diablo 3 has that makes me want to play it, PoE doesn't have it. Like I love it and I have fun with the game when I play it. But when I'm not playing it, I don't think about playing it. I don't want to go play PoE. Like right now, I'm not like, damn, I can't wait to go play PoE.
I kind of think it's psychology with you. If you ask me honestly.
Okay. I don't know. But if I sit down and I start playing it, I have fun. It is a fun game, but it's not like, dude, this is so fucking
But I think part of the reason you have fun in games is because you like carrying people. You like telling people like how to play and like helping people. Whereas in Path of Exile, you just go to being a complete and total noob. Like, please help me, chat. Like, it's just not as enjoying for you, probably.
Maybe.
But I mean, that comes with time, man. You just gotta keep going. And again, for me, I was saying like I wasn't until my 5th, 6th time going into Path of Exile that I was like, oh, okay, like it's got its hooks in me now. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So
I will say I do enjoy it a little bit more every time I play it.
Yeah.
But I guess the thing is, most games that hook me, when I'm not playing them, I'm thinking about them. I'm looking up YouTube videos on them. I'm trying to find out more information. I want more info. And I don't ever find myself really doing that with PoE. I'm not laying in bed at night wishing I could fall asleep, but I can't because I'm thinking about the game. Like I've done that with, you know, obviously Diablo 3 and with WoW and other games where I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, dude, what if I did this or what build? I can't wait to get this item or I can't, you know, there's always that thing that you're trying to sleep and you can't.
But I also think that's because of like how the style at which you've been playing Path of Exile. You don't know anything, so you go into it, you look at a guide, and you follow that like your Bible. It's not like there's anything to think about. Your path is written for you. You know what I mean? So what are you going to think about outside of the game? It's like, well, I hope I get things.
Exile. That's what I'm playing.
Right. Yeah. So I think until you get to that point where you're like, okay, you're starting to think for yourself because you know enough to feel like you can create something. I don't know, but maybe.
I think also the lack of multiplayer a little bit is a
totally.
turnoff
I could
for
see
me.
that. I could see that
because I love to play games with other people. Like some of the most fun to me, especially in the season start, is like when we group over the season and we're smashing stuff and it's like a thing. And when we're solo, it's not as much fun. You know what I mean? If I were like, if you and I could both have an activity in PoE that we could equally contribute to, then I think it's like worthwhile. For example, let's say, and I think Diablo 3 does this pretty well. Unintentionally, but like the Z characters in Diablo, you can make like, let's say you haven't played Diablo all season and I have, so I have a juicy DPS, right? You're never going to contribute to the group as a DPS if you're 3 weeks behind because you're never going to have the augments, the paragon, or the damage to keep up with the people that are there.
Right.
But you could jump on a Z character and support pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so if PoE would do, I hope PoE 2 does a little something with multiplayer. I don't know if there's a way that they could improve on that.
I mean, you could definitely be a buff bot in PoE.
Can you?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I want to be a buff bot though. I'm just saying like that's an example. Like if you could, if there's a reason to play multiplayer in PoE and make it a thing, then I think that would be cool. Because nobody really plays group play. Like what benefits would there be?
There are some streamers that specifically focus. Like Empyrean is a popular PoE streamer. He's like mostly group from what I've seen. Because it is like it trivializes content. Like it really does when you have just like a support dude in there and like God DPH or God DPS classes, and it's just like it's a mega lull at that point. So it does make it easier. But I think to your end, like you're going into it, or a lot of people are going into it with that hope for like that structured group play, and that's not what Path of Exile is at all. It's like a game. It's an ARPG first, and then it's just like multiplayer is a thing that they just like enabled and haven't really put much thought into.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that is one of the biggest pitfalls of Path of Exile. Is, one, the combat is not the best, but two, like the group play is, it's kind of a joke.
It's insane though to go play Lost Ark and then think about if other games would steal their combat, what they could be. If you could put PoE's in-game loop with Lost Ark's combat, Lost Ark's combat is so fucking good. It would carry a game. It carries Lost Ark by itself. Yeah. Like it doesn't even matter what. Like I can't even read their systems. I don't know what their systems are because I can't even read that shit. But the combat is so fun. Like yesterday, I started an assassin, brand new character. I'm running. There's a pack of rat
you started an
things.
Assassin?
Yeah.
What are you playing?
Fury. The demon one, the purple demon.
Let's stay away from my characters.
No. It's good, man. It's good.
What
Is that what you re-rolled one too?
What do you mean? This was months ago. This was the only reason I started playing Lost Ark again, because my class finally came out.
I did it first. Why did they? That's what I rolled. I rolled a demonic. They called it Fury. Maybe the translation is wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong.
Yeah, so demonic then. But yeah, I played the demonic. It's fun. There's a pack of rats over to the side, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna go fuck these rats up. Because demonic's got that purple uppercut ability, and then it's got the Hulk smash, the purple Hulk smash. It's so good, so good.
It is. So you're gonna have to figure out something else, though. But
you got to figure out something else. Listen, you probably have alts. You have all these alts, so do it.
You just started.
Or we can just we can double DPS. We're fine.
Speaking of Lost Ark, I wasn't gonna jump into it yet, but this might be a good time to talk about it. So this week, I think today or tonight, it's getting a patch on the Russian servers, and so basically. What this is giving is for 300k silver, you're going to be able to basically boost your character up to 600 gear score. And to put that in perspective, I am 500 after I've been grinding for 4 or 5 weeks now. I don't even know.
Yeah. So do you know how this works exactly? My chat was telling me about it last night, but I didn't have any time to look into it today. So you can buy it for 300k
silver
currency, like the silver. Like
shillings,
whatever they call it, shillings. I don't know how much I have on my main tune. I don't know if I'm anywhere close to that. I'd have to look and see.
Probably not.
But probably not. I think I'm probably somewhere in like the 100,000 range. I haven't spent any in the game. I pretty much saved all of it. But yeah,
you can only do it once per account.
Going away, right?
I don't see that.
Oh, you think it's gonna stay?
I think it'll probably stay for a while. But yeah, you can only do it once per account, so that's something too. You can't just like
what character class do you want to do it on? Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good time to catch up.
You think that's a good thing?
I here's the thing is,
I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
I guess we'll have to see how it plays out, because for me, it's literally impossible to find a group. Because the time that I'm playing, which is 7 p.m. Central to 3 a.m. Central or whatever, is 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. Russia time. There's nobody on. And I'm doing old content that no one's done in probably years on the Russian servers. So just finding a group is so difficult. It's not so bad when you say you queue up. That's probably my biggest complaint about Lost Ark is you can't queue up from anywhere, and doing other things will pull you out of the queue. So literally all you can do is just stand there and queue. It's just awful. And so what I've done is I'll play PoE while I queue, and then it'll trigger up. But it's really annoying to have to on Twitch, because I'll be in the Path of Exile directory, and then all of a sudden I'm playing Lost Ark, and then someone comes in, and they're like, "You're not even playing PoE, dude." And it's fuck, it's just so annoying. So. I try not to do that.
It does suck, man. It's I've noticed that on dungeons, that a lot of times I can't find people to queue up with in dungeons. And so I just enter them solo. I just go do them solo, which is fine. And I usually do the hard mode solo. The hard mode's usually like not that hard solo, at least for the leveling dungeons. So one time I was off stream. I wouldn't do it on stream because, like you said, you had to sit around. But I was just like, let's see if I ever even get a team. And so I queued up for a hard mode dungeon and just like, AFK'd and went and did other stuff around the house. And after like 2 hours of sitting in queue, I never got the queue pop. I'm just like, well, that's a thing, So
yeah, not a lot of players
I don't
leveling
know if
in
it's
the current.
I don't know if it's a population thing. It could be the server that we chose to play on too. I don't know the server densities and this and that. Like we didn't pick the predominantly English speaking server. So
but yeah, it is unfortunate because you just progress. So like you end up doing Guardian raids in training mode, which is like the solo version. And the mats are just nowhere near as good as they would be in a group. And it's nowhere near as fun is the big problem.
What are the dungeons? Three player dungeons or raids? 4 player? Yeah, because when I get up, we'd have 2 at least. So
yeah,
we'll have some recruit people.
So, but yeah, cool. you can boost up to that. They're also resetting Yasmine, which I don't really know what that means. Which is that solo kind of GR thing that they're doing, but it's not very good. It's not very deep. But they're like resetting the rewards. I think it resets like as a seasonal thing. So like you have to climb the ladder again, and it's like a leaderboard type situation. So that's getting reset too. And then they're also giving like a daily login bonus, which is very Korea. So.
Well, I don't have a problem with login bonuses. I think those are okay. They keep you coming back to the game. Yeah. That's the whole point. It's like, hey, log in and
I don't know.
Stuff.
It's tough. It's a slippery slope because you don't want players to feel bad and feel like they can't catch up because they never logged in or something. But you also
had to go on vacation.
Want to encourage people to log in. So it's like, yeah, it's weird. I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah. As long as it's not, I think there's ways you can do it. They can give login bonuses that aren't streaks. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you log in for 30 days, you get XYZ item. But if you miss a day or two, that's fine. You just don't get credit for those days. You have to do 30 days of login, unique different days of login. I've seen some games do that, and then they just reset it every XYZ days. So I don't know, man. But I get it because then you're scared to ever go on, like, oh, like I got to travel this weekend. I can't log in.
Right.
You're going to be like, yo, P, can you log into my Lost Ark account real quick? Yeah. Can you just log in for me, dude? So.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how. I don't know. Here's the problem too.
People keep talking about how it's confirmed coming to NA, and I'm like, no, it's not, guys. Like they just said that they're trying to hire somebody. Like it's not confirmed coming to NA. Like it's not even.
I get that every day. Playing
Lost Ark. And they're like, it's confirmed. I'm just gonna wait. I'm like, it's gonna be a long ass time if it does, but it's not like until they officially announce like we're coming to NA. It's don't count your chickens, man.
A job posting is not a confirmation at all.
Right. That's like maybe they're thinking about it, which of course they've been thinking about it. So.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I don't know that I'll take it because I'm almost 500. So like I spend another week grinding, I can get 600, and I could just save that for a different character. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Plus, you skip out on all those bosses, which is kind of sad face. Like bosses are fun.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I don't know how I feel about the boosting of it because like you said, it does make you skip a lot of content and it trivializes a lot of content and makes it not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they're going to put a bunch of new content in that requires you have a high gear score, then it's a gateway to get to the new stuff, which is really cool too. So
yeah.
I will say that Lost Ark has so many systems in it and it not being natively translated that sometimes you're like, wait, what is this? What's going on? So when you get to the end game, I'm sure you'll pick them all up, but I know they have their life skill thing. They have some kind of card game. They have the boat, ocean, driving around, farming thing. And then on top of that, there's all the classes, or I would say subclasses in there that you have to figure out. There's crafting. There's like some kind of gem system I don't really know about yet. So there's so many different systems in there that it's like the game's got a lot of stuff, and it seems like they stole a lot of things off of a lot of different games. Like I feel like there's a little Monster Hunter in there. I feel like there's a little World of Warcraft in there. I feel like there's obviously some ARPG love from Diablo and these other games.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see like how they kind of just like looked at all these games and like, yo, this is really good in this game. Let's steal this concept and
Yeah.
throw it in.
But they're also
And
super guilty of scope creep, and it shows.
yeah.
Because they have a whole bunch of things, but like a lot of them aren't very engaging or like you even want to do them. So
I didn't feel like the boat stuff was as bad this time around as it was last time. Did they polish that up recently?
what do you mean? I guess
It looked a little better, and it looked like there was more stuff to do. Like, but it was still bad. Don't get me
It's the
wrong. I
same.
still didn't really love it.
Well, like before they would require you to do it because like Island Hearts were a really good way of getting gear, and then they removed that completely, and so now it's just like a thing that you do. And if you can get 20 Island Hearts, you unlock like your second ultimate, and that takes a long time. I have 10. I just gave up.
Where does the Island Heart come from? Like so the boat stuff I've done is you go drop a net, you hunt some fish, you save people, and maybe so you go to a wrecked ship.
Right. So you have like you notice that you have that luck bar on the bottom. You're probably encouraged to use that. It's one of the things you can do every day is like to use all of your luck bar to try to get, boat stuff basically like from treasure hunting. That's one of the things they encourage you to do. But every island that you see on the map has an Island Heart. And how you unlock the Island Heart is unique to each island. So some of them are like, grind faction for like literally 30 days, and then you can unlock the Island Heart. Some of them are go here, once every 3 hours, there's a special event on this island that you can go and you can kill this guy, and he has a chance to drop the Island Heart. And some of them are literally go to an island and try to skin rabbits, and if you get enough rabbit furs, then you get the Island Heart. It's like there's so much. It's
just random as hell,
and it's not like I said, it's like not that we just want to fight stuff. Really, it's and it's like EverQuest, but like in the worst possible way. Because at least in the EverQuest, like the quest would be forever, and you'd spend up all this time like just traveling and finding the things But most of the time, like a lot of the stuff was like in dungeons, so you had to like fight to get to the thing or lock behind like raid bosses and stuff like that, and like it was mixed in with some fighting. Whereas these, it's just like role play. It's role play for hours and hours and hours.
This game has some huge changes, and like you'll have they have the pacing in Lost Ark is like fight, and then quest and story for an hour, fight for an hour, quest and story for an hour. And it has this cadence as you're doing your quest stuff. And if you're into story and RP and stuff like that, it's really cool. And if you're just into combat, then the hour of quest stuff, you're skipping and trying to get through it as fast as possible. So, like I said, I think it'll be a cool game. Hopefully when it gets translated and hits NA someday, if it does, it'll be, I think the game would do very well over here. I honestly do. I think the combat's so unique and so fun that people would be like, oh man, I love this shit. So,
yeah. I think that it would do it would have that like month of like crazy hype, like Wolcen on crack, and people are gonna love it. Like, oh my god, this combat is like the best thing I've ever felt. And I think people will like get to the end game, and that will probably turn off a lot of people, unfortunately. But I think PvP will also carry it really hard, and a lot of this is, of course, contingent upon the cash shop. But in other news, so PoE's doing this China race right now, and it's been seemingly pretty popular amongst the community. I gotta say, man, like I pop on the Reddit for PoE every once in a while, and I watch like the rip clips for like the people that are on the leaderboard for the China race, and like so this is DS Lily. She's like rank 2 or something like that when she dies, maybe rank 3, maybe even rank 1. I don't even know. And she touches the box and just like. Path of Exile.
Just like what?
Yeah,
I'm watching that again.
Don't even know. I'll slow it down. It's just like to play hardcore.
Yeah, you're at full health, chilling. Full health,
they shoot some like projectiles. I don't know.
And then boom, just dead. Yeah.
I can't even see if it's like extra proj. No idea.
Yeah.
So That's
That's
neat.
a bad thing, man. We talked about this a couple podcasts ago. Like when you die and you don't even know what happened,
Yeah.
it's like it feels really bad. So
Yeah, and when I watch some of the PoE guys, like, Rise, like he's been a hardcore player for a long time. Like he just like he dies and then like just makes another character. Like for me, I'm like I would just rage the f out, and like it's just so obnoxious to have to like re-level again and like to die to something that's like so stupid. Ugh, hats off to the hardcore guys, but like in Path of Exile, it's just so gross.
yeah, it's like that. That happened. We were doing hardcore metas the other day, and that happened to us where our Z Barb got killed, and in the metas we were doing, I was pretty new on my hardcore account. I was playing Z Monk, and we got so as we're pushing up, we started at like 110, and we started pushing up, and we started getting to the high 120s, and people started procking every now and then, and was like, "Do we want to keep going?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And like to me, like I don't care if I die. My count's pretty new, so not a big deal. But we kept going, and our Z Barb got killed because we hit a power pylon, and then they charged into a spinner, and it was like, and I went back and watched the clip, and it was like one charge, and it was death. You know what I mean? And it's like it just feels bad, man. It's you're charging, you're moving so fast that the spinner spins the second the pylons popped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just like death. And it's like,
Yeah.
like
Uh,
that sucks, man.
but yeah, the PoE race, there's this rank 3 guy that, like, I don't know if you'll notice it, but he does the logout macro. I don't know if it was to die or to skip time, but he accidentally clicks migrate when he's trying to log back in.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so he like moves his character. He was rank 3, I think. And
Oh wow.
he accidentally migrated his character.
There's no confirmation on it.
No. Rip.
Go back
then,
to replay
yeah,
that one
yeah.
time real quick. I want to see that process.
So yeah, I think he does like the logout macro, and then he's just like clicking in and
just click, click, click.
Yeah, perfectly.
It was like he
clicked the
probably
migrate.
had his left click, left
Mhm.
click on auto.
And he's like,
That
"What's
sucks,
going
dude.
on?" Yeah. And then Mods is like rank 2, and he DC'd, died. So
Yeah, that sucks.
that's just crazy. But it's really cool because they have this leaderboard. This like API. Someone built out this API to follow like the progress and the points that these players have in the race.
So what was this race for? What, to get a kill on Awakener, or
It's
to just next level, or what was it?
It's like to basically you get points based on the things that you do. So like some of them it's like kill Awakener, kill Conquerors, and you get like points based on like the difficulty and stuff like that. And somehow it's like all auto accumulated, which is really cool. And so there's like a leaderboard. There's like active leaderboard for like the first time ever in PoE, which is really
That's
cool.
pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
And I don't know if this is like just specific to China, and maybe that's why they're doing it on China, but it's interesting.
Cool, man.
And then in other news, Halo delayed.
I saw this, man. We just talked about it. Didn't they just say that there was no way they were going to delay it? Like, weren't we just talking about it? I thought they said that like it's going to happen. It's going to launch on Xbox launch date, because we were talking about how I thought it looked like crap, and we were saying they should delay it.
No, last week when you're like, yeah, it's going to go with the Xbox launch. I was like, no, it's not even going to happen until new. So like they were sneaking in like December 29th or December 30th or something. Like the Xbox launch is way before that.
The Xbox launch is supposed to be November, and that's originally when it was supposed to be a launch title within the Xbox.
Yeah, but that got shut down like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then it got moved to the end of December, and then now everyone's like, this footage sucks. So
yeah, that footage was garbage.
So
yeah, there's Microsoft's fucked, man. Like Sony's gonna crush them. They crushed them already with PS4 and Xbox One. Xbox owned the 360 versus PS3 console war. Microsoft won that one. PlayStation came back and won PS4, and it looks like they're going to crush them again. Xbox has nothing to launch exclusive on Xbox on launch day. They don't even have launch titles. They have like Gears 5 update and some other things. They don't even have a launch title, man. So Sony's dropping with they're gonna have the Spider-Man game. Like there's a handful of Sony exclusives that they have ready to go on PS5. So it's not looking good. Xbox looks like it has better hardware, but that's not gonna win. That's not gonna.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sell
I
consoles
don't
if you don't have the games,
I don't
man.
really understand what they're doing because it's not exclusive. Halo's not exclusive to the Xbox, and seemingly they haven't said anything about it's going to come 2 weeks first or something like that. So I can't. The only play I can think of in my head is like the Xbox is maybe meant to be more of a poor man's PC.
I guess.
And like that's their play. I don't know. I really don't know because they're doing like the Game Pass on PC now too. So,
yeah, I have the Game Pass on
yeah.
PC. I've had it for a long time. It's actually a really cool thing. If you haven't checked it out, you should, because it gives me, like, that's how I played Minecraft Dungeons. The Honey I Shrunk the Kids game is on there, which I almost played. I didn't though. I forgot the name of it already. But they throw a lot of games on there. Like Final Fantasy 15 was on there, and I had that on PS4, but I always kind of wanted to check it out on PC, and I downloaded and played it for like 10 minutes, and it was bad. But they have a lot. Grounded is the name of the Honey I Shrunk the Kids. I just opened the app up. But yeah, it's a cool thing. Ark's on there, so
yeah,
it's a really cool thing. But I think it's good they delayed Halo. You don't want, like, they can't screw this up, man. I think they screwed up Halo 5. I don't think it was as good as it could have been or should have been.
I think Halo 5 was great. It just
I know
didn't
that
get
you
enough
loved it. I
traction.
just feel I don't know, man.
I didn't
play a lot of
just
that multiplayer.
needed something that pushed them to the next level, like the 4v4. Yeah. Like if this Halo comes out, we've said 100 times, if it's just 4v4 arena, it's going to be great for a few months, just like Halo 5 was, but it's just going to die because there's nothing pushing the genre forward.
Yeah,
they got to innovate.
I was kind of hoping that they were going to do something similar to Destiny, where they made it like this shared world experience where you could jump in Halo and meet other people and play and have some actual, because I think that's Destiny does the PvE content very well. They do a piss poor job on the PvP. And if Halo could capture the good PvP side of it and then throw in some of that PvE stuff also, I think that could have been a win-win. And Halo's loved by so many people. It's already got the IP. It just needs to get the format down.
Yeah.
But it goes back to, like, what game hasn't been delayed lately? Like, I can't think of a single title that's launched on time.
I'm actually,
like, the launch dates are bullshit.
Yeah.
Just like,
I slow clapped when I saw this. Like, I think that it's the right play. I would rather, the same thing with Diablo 4. Like, if they need to take more time to make sure it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also kind of feel like this era of like continually making new games, hopefully is like maybe we're seeing the end of that era, because I just feel like the play is just to like build upon like a really good game and like update it and do the PoE route, right?
It.
Like,
a games as a service, not a game. Yeah. I think we have gone to a games as a service mentality where people expect that from the game. They expect the game that comes out to get more content. That's not the final product ever.
Right.
But launch dates are kind of just like not. If somebody claims a launch date now, I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Until it's actually like, a week away. Then I'm like, all right. If they haven't pushed it back a week away, then I'll believe it.
Right.
But no, I'm glad they pushed it back. I want Halo 5 to be good. I
Halo
6
Infinite.
or 7 or whatever it is. What is it? 7?
It's not
5. It's 7, right?
Yeah, 6. No. 7, yeah. 7.
Yeah.
7.
So,
yeah.
7. Yeah, Halo Infinite. I want it to be good.
Me too.
I want it to.
Me too.
But I'll tell you this though, man, I'm not buying an Xbox. Like, I would buy it for Halo, and if they're gonna put it out on PC.
Yeah.
I don't know. What other exclusive does Microsoft have?
Nothing.
That's even worthwhile.
Really nothing.
Nothing. They don't have any IPs. Like, you gotta do something, Microsoft. You gotta spend some of that Sony money and get some exclusivity on something. So Forza, maybe. Like, that, you care about cars.
Crazy.
But yeah, that does kind of suck for that. And then Marvel Avengers is partnering up with Fortnite again. How do you feel about this? These like, Fortnite partners up with everything, man. So like, I guess now if you pre-order the new Marvel Avengers game, there's a beta that you can get access to, which I've seen some people playing. which might be a closed beta that only certain streamers got invited to. But there's going to be a paid beta. I'll call it a paid beta because you have to pre-order to get into it, and then it's going to be on PlayStation first because Sony puts out that money, and then Xbox and PC are also going to get into it. But if you do that beta and then you play all the way through it, you get something, and then if you're a Fortnite player, you get like some Hulk fist pickaxe style things. And the reason I know this is because my youngest son is a huge Fortnite player, and he's like, "Oh, I want those gloves like so bad." And he's like, "Are you going to get this game?" And he's basically trying to talk to me like, "Pre-order the game so I can get your gloves. So I can get the gloves on my PlayStation." But it looks okay, man. I watched some of the beta, and the game looked pretty decent. So if they don't screw this up, man, it could be a fun game. It'd be a really fun game.
Yeah, let's hope.
How do you feel about the paid beta thing?
In what context?
I feel like it's like you have to pre-order the game to get access to the beta.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like pre-orders at all. In like the past,
I don't either.
10 years. Like it's kind of.
I got to play the beta for Anthem, and the beta for Anthem was like hot garbage.
Yeah.
And I knew like that instantly was like, don't buy this game.
Yeah.
And so I didn't buy it. I actually got the game for free with a piece of PC hardware. I bought a piece of PC hardware and it gave me a Anthem game code for free. So I own the game, but I was going to pre-order it until I played the beta. And so I think the developer shot themselves in the foot by letting people play the beta for free when the game's shitty. But that being said, if the game was good, I think it could be a good thing. I don't know, man. I'm not sure how I feel, but I definitely don't like the pre-order to get beta access. I feel like that's
man.
I mean, man. It feels dirty.
The only time I would do a pre-order in this day and age, I feel like Path of Exile was like, hey, pre-order next league or something, and you get, I don't know, something. I'm like, okay, sure. Like I know it's gonna be something.
You know you're gonna get it,
right?
Yeah.
Or it's like Diablo 3 is like, hey, we have a new class coming out. Pre-order now. I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm in. I'll pre-order that shit. But if it's like, I don't even think I would pre-order Diablo 4, to be honest.
Yes, you would.
I would pre-order? Man. No, why?
If they had an exclusive thing that you got for pre-order, exclusive wings or something,
no, probably not. I didn't pre-order D3.
Yeah. I got D3 just because of WoW though. If you bought like a year's worth of game time, you got it for free. So
right.
That was to me like, well, I'm gonna have a year subscription to WoW either way. I might as well get the game for free. You know what I mean? So but yeah, that's pretty much it. You want to get into some Twitter? Oh, there was one thing else that I had. Do you want to talk about? So Discord changed their partner status requirements. Have you seen this?
No.
Yeah. So Discord sent out this. I don't know if they sent it out. I saw it somehow. I don't remember how I saw it. I think they might have emailed it to me too, but I saw it on Twitter first. Somebody else posted this. But basically, so back when Discord first started a couple of years ago, like I was pretty early adopter on Discord. And Discord was super cool. And they're like, yo, man, like we sent them, I know you're partnered on Discord, I'm partnered on Discord. And when I first reached out to them about getting partnered, they like checked my stuff and they're like, oh yeah, sure. And then I had a rep that used to send me stuff. They sent me hoodie and all this kind of shit. And they were really cool. Like, you can have your partner. But then I noticed like some other people I know have partnered channels lost their Discord partnership and they didn't even tell them. They were just like, they just logged in and it was gone. And they sent them emails and these people like couldn't even get replies back onto why they lost it. But it was basically because they weren't, big enough or whatever anymore. So now that Discord's blown up and they're like, king of the hill, they sent out a thing saying that, we know we partnered a lot of people based on other metrics, like other social medias and things like that. But now we're going to base it solely on your Discord server status. And you have to have, going forward, if you don't meet these requirements, we'll remove your Discord partnership and blah, blah, blah. And they start naming the requirements. So potentially I might lose mine. I don't know. I'm pretty close to the requirements that they want, but it's like, do I care though? I kind of feel it's a bait and switch. I kind of feel like, hey, you wanted to work with me and benefit you when you were up and coming.
Right.
And now that you're so big, you're just going to shit on the people that were there early when you were growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to me, it kind of feels like that's cool if you want to change your requirements going forward, for the new applications. But those people that were there for your start, I feel like you're kind of shitting on them a little bit.
Like
And
Twitch
not
wouldn't have
just from
done
a
that.
personal standpoint. Huh?
Twitch wouldn't do that. Like that's BS.
Yeah, Twitch doesn't do that now. If Twitch did that now, then I would only ever stream my main game because like anytime I don't stream my main game, my numbers aren't partner status numbers. You know what I mean? So I think it's I think it just feels dirty. I think it feels a little like, man, that seems like you guys are full of yourselves a little bit right now,
Yeah.
So or maybe they got a little crazy and partnered too many people. I don't know, but
I bet like what are the have you felt the benefits of being a partner Discord server? Not really.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't give me anything. It's not really, but it's like you guys were cool. You sent me a hoodie and all this stuff. And so like what, I'm just gonna throw my hoodie away now because you said no, you're not cool enough anymore. Like you're not big enough to be a partner anymore, is basically what they're saying.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, so what did they give us maybe better bandwidth? So for our podcast, maybe because we have better quality.
Yeah.
Screen shares or audio, maybe. But yeah, man, just funny. I just thought I'd hit on that and just see how you felt. If you felt it's a little
BS.
like, yeah, it's a little BS, a little bait and switch.
Yeah.
So feels bad.
Yeah. Doesn't send a good message either to like people that like your platform.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think like if I were them, I would just say, hey, we're gonna change the requirements to get partnership moving forward. But those guys that are grandfathered in or that have been with us for years while we were growing, like thank you, and like you're still cool. So, but
yeah,
but I mean they're huge now. I guess they can do what they want. So,
true.
If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can submit them at ThaPChild, at Lord__Fluffy on Twitters. You can join our Discords. The links are in the YouTube comments below. If you're live, you can type !Discord and get it there, or message us, on any of those ways. The first message comes from Killer Plague.
Hang on. Fluff hates. What? You're not gonna skip over
Fluff.
this.
Oh, sorry, Fluff hates.
You're not gonna skip over this, Mr. St. Louis.
What do you hate?
Okay, so we went down a rabbit hole last night, and I was talking about
who's we? You in chat?
Yeah, and I was talking about how the dream would be to have like a sailboat one day. And I was like, do pirates still exist? And so I fell on this rabbit hole like pirates, and then it led to like a lot of murders happening. I was like, man, what is Venezuela? Seems crazy right now. They must be like top for murder rates. And so I just Google, most dangerous cities in the world by murder rate. Okay. And so we have Los Cabos. This is 2020. Los Cabos is rank 1. Caracas, Venezuela. Acapulco, Mexico. Natal, Brazil. Tijuana, Mexico. La Paz, Mexico. Portela, Brazil. Ciudad, Mexico. Ciudad, Venezuela. Belém, Brazil. Blah, 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 Brazil. Mexico. St. Louis, Missouri.
Well, we're down the list, man.
10,
all the Brazilian and Mexican cities are still ahead of us, so we're okay.
It's just it comes out of nowhere. St. Louis, Missouri. What is going on out there,
I represent the 314, man. I don't know what to say.
What the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, I don't know, man. We have some shithole areas over here. That's all I can say. We do have some nice places too, but apparently there's some shitholes. It is.
I say all the time, man. St. Louis is just a shithole.
I live in the suburbs outside. I actually don't live in the city of St. Louis. I live in the suburbs outside. But it's nice where I'm at personally. But yeah, man, I would be scared to walk around downtown St. Louis at nighttime. Yeah, I would. I would be. I wouldn't recommend it. It's probably not very good for your health to do that. So.
But to be fair, I would have guessed like Cabo, Mexico to be so far up that list.
Yeah, who knew, man? Who knew that all the, those Puerto Vallarta are on there? Shit, I just went to vacation there. I'll tell you what, like we were talking about traveling, and I will say like probably the most intimidated I've ever been is when I did go to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico, because as we were taking our shuttle or our taxi from the airport to the resort that we were staying on, I don't know if this is normal or there was some shit going down, but they had a ton of trucks with fucking turrets on the back,
No, it's
and
super
the
typical Mexico police.
the police were like standing in the back
Yeah,
of the trucks on the turret guns
it's
with
everywhere.
masks covering their
Yeah.
faces. And it's like, if this dude just decided to blow my car up right now, A, nobody would know even who he was because he
Mhm.
had a full fucking face mask, like dirt bike helmet on. And B, he's got a turret gun on a pickup truck.
Yeah.
It was like GTA 5 style. Like, don't fuck with this dude. He's shooting 50 cal rounds at you. Um, but it was pretty crazy. And it was like that a lot. And it was I've never seen that before. So it
Mm.
was pretty intimidating to be like, damn, man, I feel super vulnerable because these guys could kill me and nobody would even know who did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know, man. It was nutty. And have you seen shit like that in your travels?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
like honestly, I don't even remember being phased by that when I saw that in Mexico. I was like, oh yeah, like I get why, cartel and drugs and like, cops need
yeah.
good artillery to probably deal with that. But no, like honestly, I hate to say it because like people are gonna yell at me, but like I feel the most vulnerable when I'm in like U.S. cities. I think I've been in a
Yeah.
lot of places. I've been in a lot of quote unquote sketchy places by U.S. media standards. And like I was in the back alleys of Egypt, like following a guy in dark alleys to get a T-shirt, with fluffy embroidered on it in Arabic. And I just never felt in
Yeah.
danger at all. But like walking
I
down
felt a
back
little,
alleys
I
in
felt,
St. Louis.
I wandered around in Mexico in, oh shit, where were we at? Cozumel. We were in Cozumel, and I ventured out of the touristy spot. So like you of all people probably know this. When you travel and you hit the touristy areas, like the hubs where the Americans will deplane or deboat, that's like junior America, man. It's like all
Yeah,
Americanized with
very
like
westernized.
McDonald's
Yeah,
and fucking all this. It's like, it's totally mini America. But as you get several blocks away from those areas,
doesn't take
then you
long.
start to get,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't take, it's literally like one block. It
Mhm.
goes from like junior America to like, okay, now we're in like poverty ridden Mexico is what it felt like to me. So I guess I wandered into a Mexican flea market.
Mm.
It looked like if you took an ice cube tray and set it up on its side and made it full of concrete, that's what the thing was like. It was like these huge
Nice.
squares and of just concrete, gray concrete, no paint, no nothing, with like laundry lines that would close, that curtains would go on so they could like close the shop.
Sure.
And as I'm walking through this, like I've walked from the touristy spot to this area, and then I kind of notice like I'm really tall now. Like I'm a good shoulders above everybody else around me. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm not huge, but I felt like a giant, right? And I'm getting looks, and so I start going through this thing, and like one lady's chopping a chicken's head off and like one of the cubes, and the next one over, the next lady's like selling dresses, and like the next one was like selling like vegetables or
Yeah.
something, and it was like just crazy. But it was nutty. And as I'm walking around there, I was getting a lot of looks, especially from guys. Like in it, they weren't nice looks. They're like, "What the fuck's he doing here?"
Mm.
kind of looks. And I'm like, I think we should leave. I think we should go back to the touristy spot. So I kind of booked it out of
Mm.
there.
Mm. I love that
So
shit, man. Like little markets like that. That's what I
yeah,
live for.
it was crazy, man. I had never seen anybody cut a chicken's head off before,
Yeah, man.
and I just by accident looked over right as she was like, and you know, I'm like, oh, okay, that just happened.
Yep.
So
Good stuff,
interesting,
though, man.
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Moral of the
Let's
story
jump
is
into
stay away
some.
from St. Louis. That's what I wanted to
Yeah.
drive home.
Okay. No, we're fine. Yeah, just don't downtown. Yeah, leave it alone.
No, just don't go there.
Just don't go there. Killer Plague says, "Do you guys see the poll on everyone's favorite goblin?" And then he linked the poll, but I don't think I threw it in the schedule. Sorry, so you can't pull it up.
Mm-mm.
However, I did see the poll. There were a couple omissions from the poll, and I don't think I'm gonna try to pull the results up and get a fresh results real fast.
It's got to be gelatinous, right?
I would hope
By
so.
landslide.
Right? Yeah. So gelatinous is by a landslide, winning 253 votes. Second place is the Menagerist Goblin
People love the
at
pets.
79.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blood Thief is third with 73. And that's really it. Odie's Collector with 48. And then the other ones, either omitted or not on there. But yeah, Gelatinous drops the best of everything, man. You get mats, you get legendaries, you get all the juice. Death Breath is probably the greatest reason for it.
Yep.
So I don't disagree with that.
But no,
Demonic
I didn't
Grizz
see that
says,
poll.
I didn't see it either. Demonic Grizz says, what's your opinion on the article Blizzard gives an encouraging update on Diablo 4 development? And in this article, again, it was very similar to the collector's call, kind of just went over it. They basically just say that with COVID-19, Diablo 4's team didn't really skip a beat,
Right.
and
Still
Blizzard gave
forward,
them
right.
Blizzard gave them like a little allowance to like work from home. And here's the quote. It says, Ferguson says, things are going very well, and apparently little productivity has been lost. And this is partly because Blizzard has been providing allowances to their developers to cover the cost of switching to at-home development and giving them an occasional snack box, whatever the fuck that is. So, I don't know, man. It's it's not to pun intended. It's all fluff. It's not like.
So it's all the best possible thing in the world? Wow.
It's, they're of course they're gonna say that. They're not gonna be like, yeah,
I mean, I saw that article
really shitty,
and I didn't put it in the schedule because it's like no news is there. It's just like, okay, we're going forward. Of course you are. So I was just like, thank you for a confirmation of what we already knew.
So the investor article we don't get any news. Like the more I think about it, like the development blog didn't give us any news. The investor call didn't give us any news. The IGN articles and the GameSpot article, like all the articles never tell us anything we don't know.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, like I'm not even a super hype for Diablo 4 at the current moment because Diablo Immortal is closer than Diablo 4. And like I am expecting something from that. I'm expecting beta announcements or footage or pricing structures or some kind of just actual real info on that game. Because we're not due for another D4 development blog until the end of this quarter, which is when March. So April, May, June. We got the June one. So September 31st, we'll get the.
Is there a September 31st?
30th, 31st. 30th, I don't know. I don't know. I have to do the knuckle trick. Do you know the knuckle trick? To know the dates?
I just know the dates.
Do you? September 30?
Yes, September 30.
Pop quiz. Okay. What's June?
30.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's 30.
I'd have to double check you.
Yeah, but yeah. Next question, please. I can't believe you're more excited for Diablo Immortal than you are for D4. That's what I got out of what you just said. Continue.
Yeah. Well, it's because we're not going to get news for 3 months, man. What's the worst present? Cole Smash says, what's the worst present you've ever received and why?
Oh, man. I've got a tie. Okay. So
it's
like my 10th birthday. And like clockwork, my parents would always go out of town for my birthday. They would go to Chicago because there was like a band. Like my dad was a band director. So like there was like a band thing that they did in Chicago.
Yeah, the national finals are in Chicago. Okay.
Something.
Yeah.
And so they'd always be out of town for my birthday. And I remember they got back and we had my birthday celebration. And like we're sitting down and my mom would always like stack the presents in the middle of the table like before we even sat down to eat,
Yeah.
And there was like nothing. And then she turned to my dad and she's like go get the gifts. They're not here, we're about to have dinner. And he like looks at her and like looks at me and he's like, I didn't fucking get him.
Your mom thought he got gifts and he didn't.
And so like my dad went out in the garage and like I got a this is 1990. I don't even know. And I got a wired phone. Yeah, I guess it was just like sitting in a box in the garage.
Here you go, son. You got your own phone.
Like sweet. Didn't come with like my own landline or anything. It was just It's a fucking
Did they
phone.
get you presents later on?
I think no, I can't recall. No, but
That's fucked. They forgot, and then they didn't
forgot.
even make up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some. Yeah, good
And
job.
then
Parents.
my gosh,
That explains why he doesn't love anybody. Okay, that's making sense now.
my first birthday when I was with Lindsay at my parents' house. I always ask my parents, like, please do not give me anything. I don't want anything. They always get me like, just stuff that like one year they got me like a wood chipped smoker or something like that. But it was like travel size. Like, what the hell am I going to do with this thing? And so like it became like a meme between my friends. Like I would leave it at one of my friend's house, and then that friend would try to like figure out how to hide it in someone else's house or whatever for like years. And then, yeah, so my first birthday with Lindsay at my parents' house, and like I was like, please don't give me anything. But my mom, like, she just can't help herself, so she got me she put like a little bag together, and so I opened it up, and it's like socks. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks, can always use more socks, I guess. Even though like I hate having like different types of socks in my sock drawer. Like it's just the worst. Like matching socks.
I have all the same socks.
Exactly.
You don't have to match them. Yeah.
It's min-maxing. And so I'm like, okay, thanks for socks. I guess I can always use socks. But then like I like flipped over the label, and it was like women's low-cut socks or something like that. I was just like, what the fuck? Just keep your shit. I don't want your shit.
That's funny, man. She gave you her shit.
Yeah. That's funny.
Worst presents. I remember the worst disappointment. So, and I don't know why I thought this, but I guess it was like senior year of high school. I think it was senior year of high school, and Dreamcast was a thing. I think Dreamcast had just come out, or was going to come out, or had been out or something. But I wanted a Dreamcast, and so I was dating this girl, and her parents were pretty well off. She always had money to blow. You know what I mean? Like it was a thing. So. I kept hinting like I want a Dreamcast, you know what I mean, and this and that. So I thought she was gonna get it for me, and so she kept teasing me the whole time, like I got you something you're going to love, and she knew like I'm a gamer. I've always been a gamer, so I'm like, well, if she is this confident I'm gonna love it, I know it's a Dreamcast, right? She's gonna give me the Dreamcast. And so my birthday comes, and we go out to dinner and this and that, and then so she's like, do you want your present? And I'm like, yeah, cool. And so she gives me the present, and I open it up. And it's like a lamp that you plug in, like an Austin Powers lamp. I don't even know how to describe it, man. It was like some kind of disco light thing. It had a bulb in the middle, and then something would spin, and it would make like these light beams of different colors on the wall. It was like a disco style thing. And that was it. That was the fucking present. And I'm just like, what? I didn't really expect her to get me the Dreamcast, but it was the setup. Like the setup was like, she knew that I wanted it, and she's like, you're going to love your present. You're going to love, and that's all she just kept saying for like weeks, is that you're going to love it.
Maybe she got you the Dreamcast, but then was like, no, this guy's not worth it, and kept the Dreamcast for herself.
No, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think that was the case. We dated for a long time after. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It was very.
Did you ever tell her?
I mean, no, of course not. I didn't, I'm not a dick. I was like, thank you. It was awesome.
I don't know if like years later, you're like, yeah,
No, man. So it was, it was definitely probably the most disappointing. That was the only time I remember like really having to act like I loved the present. I was like, oh, this is really cool. But I remember in my head thinking, what the fuck? Like, why would you think I would like this? Like, this isn't anything. I'm not into disco lights. I'm not like, I just have no relation for why she thought I would like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Damn.
Extreme says, what are your opinions on limiting what legendaries drop in a season? Like a season having no COE, or limiting other popular legendaries. So I guess to like shelf legendaries for a season.
Less content? Is that really something you guys want? Less drops in Diablo 3?
I can see things being rotated to force metas, I guess, to force playstyle changes. But if you're not adding stuff and you're only taking away stuff, that feels bad.
Taking away options?
So
bad.
You would have to add things in order to take away things.
Yeah.
So it would be okay if you added stuff,
Right.
but like I said, I don't know. Why not just add the stuff and then leave the old stuff too? COE is definitely played out, and I'm tired of it.
Totally.
It was great when it came in, but it's been the thing for every season for 20 seasons. So let's get rid of it. Altogether.
Sure.
Let's give us something better. I don't know.
Not
either. Hex says, I know both of you are cat owners.
Mm-hmm.
Would you eat your cat for $10 million?
No fucking way.
10 million bucks?
Listen, man, there's not a lot. There's really not a lot on that list. You wouldn't eat
what, Hubert? What's your cat's name?
Herbert. Yeah.
Herbert. You wouldn't eat Herbert for $10 million?
No, bro. He is my life partner.
Cash money on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got like what? He's probably got like
he's
10
15.
years or less.
He barely probably has 5 years left, maybe, if he lives forever.
So for 10 million, like you don't think you could have a one-on-one conversation with him and be like, listen, bud, like I love you, but we're setting daddy up forever?
I mean, the only way, I guess, is if I get his DNA. And it's 30. I've looked into this because this is how much I love my cat. It's like 30 to 40 grand to clone your cat.
You could clone him?
Yeah.
That's legal?
Not here, but you could like go to, wherever the country is and do it.
You're in like some back alley in India.
Yeah. I would if I had disposable income, I would clone Herbert in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I guess if I could big brain it, yeah, I guess I'd take the 10 mil. If I get his DNA first, I eat him, and then I go to a country and use that DNA.
Yeah. That being said, I don't even love my cat like that, but
you would do it in a heartbeat.
No, my cat's part of the family though, and it would feel like it would make me. I don't like that. Would be disgusting to know that I killed the cat and ate it. Would be like, I don't think I could handle it. $10 million is a lot of money though. My answer, I want to say right now, is no. But if somebody walked in with $10 million in cash and like threw it down on my sofa, I might be like, all right, dude, start the oven. Like, I don't know, man. I would, because I honestly don't like my cat that much, but it's still part of the family. Like, I'd still go to bat for my cat if I had to. Some stranger came in and was like choking my cat. I'd fight the stranger. You know what I mean?
Oh, there goes my plan for when I finally go to your house.
You could choke the chickens, not the cats. Okay, so. I don't know, man. I would say maybe. I don't know.
I've never heard you say anything positive about your cat. Of course,
I dislike my cat. I really do, but it's my cat, though. You know what I mean? Like I can still not like it. It's still like your cat. Yeah, you're right. I probably fucking do it. So, Bard 1801 says, "What is the worst purchase that you've ever made?" I feel like we've had something similar to this before, but I don't know.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I probably have a lot of things, but one that comes to mind really fast is I bought this as a pad that you put over top of a chair. It's like a back massager. And so I thought my thought process was I'm going to buy this back massager thing and put it on my chair at work. That way when I'm at work chilling, I can just like turn this back massager on and get a back massage. And it's like it's got like this pad with these little balls in it and they kind of spin in a circle. And it just fucking hurt. It hurt so bad. And I used it like one time ever. And I was like, this is the worst investment I've ever made. I bought it from some lady off eBay for like, I don't know, $30 or something. It took her like 3 weeks to ship it to me. I had to message her like 10 times. She's like, oh, I already messaged it or sent it. And I'm like, well, where's the tracking? And then like a week later, she responds, I just sent it out. And I'm like, you already said you sent it. And she's like, yeah, but I got in a car wreck. And like, she had like this bullshit horror story of like why she never sent it. Just the whole process for something that I used once and then pretty much threw away.
Damn.
That comes to mind. What do you got?
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, dude. Get out of here. The worst purchase you've ever made. Look at the smile. He's fucking trolling.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's really fucking bad.
No, it was not, dude. It was not that bad.
It was that bad.
Listen, if it was that bad, then why would you buy Final Fantasy II Remake Part 2?
I didn't.
You're going to.
I honestly, like, I will
going
wait.
to.
Listen, stop. Here's the thing. So the next part of the game is like, okay, when you get out of Shinra or whatever.
Yeah.
Midgar,
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, spoilers maybe. Don't, maybe.
The game blows up, right? So it's like, whoa, it's like open world all of a sudden and poggers.
That's what they're saying. We don't know.
No, I mean, that's how it was in the original, right?
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
if we see trailers for the next Final Fantasy and it's like you're going down like a tunnel just like you were in Final Fantasy 7. There's like one way to go.
It's gonna.
I'm not buying it. I'm fucking not buying it.
It's gonna be linear.
Yeah,
100%.
Then I won't play
it.
It's easy. I'll just watch the cutscenes on YouTube.
Watch the cutscenes.
The game wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
Okay. All right. It had things that could have been better, like the sub quests, the side quests, the green side quests were pretty garbage. Okay, I'll give you that. But like the Shinra building, dude, that was phenomenal. That was good. It was fun. It was well done. Good music, good animation, good story, good everything about it was good. The game had its strong points for sure.
10 minutes of 45 minutes of gameplay that wasn't like a cutscene. Yeah.
It was more than 10 minutes.
Nah,
it was like
terrible
6
game.
hours.
Terrible game. I like that my cat like heard that I wouldn't eat him.
I know. She's like, you're gonna eat me when we come sit in your lap.
I appreciate you, dude. Yeah.
She's like, I love you. You're not gonna eat me. Oh my gosh. That's it, man. That's all the questions we had. I think that was a sellout answer on that one. But I'll take it. Okay. You guys want to catch more of me? At ThaPChild on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube's, all the places.
Yeah. I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you boys next week for 112.
112.
Peace out.
Peace.